Welcome to Enlightened Evolution.
I'm Cay.
And I'm Christina.
We're here to discuss the ebb and flow of our soul's healing and transformation through self-reflection, choosing intentionally, honoring thyself, and following your inner guide.
Thank you for joining this safe space with us. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Enlightened Evolution. This week's episode is about glimmers. So I know a lot of times we talk about some heavy content. This is going to be a very positive episode. And I do want to say thank you for our listeners that have written in and talked to us about our audio. If you have been sticking with us this long and have made it through our troubles with audio, we very much appreciate you. We both have adopted some headphones. You may have noticed in the last episode, I kept adjusting mine because they do not want to stay in my ears. But we noticed with the last episode, it really helped with the audio. So we really appreciate your feedback. Please keep it coming. And also, if you want a way to support us, definitely share our episodes, our podcast with your friends and family. Share it on your social media. That will help us to grow as well. Okay,
Yes.
so before we get into it, Kay, how are you?
I'm wonderful.
Awesome.
Yeah, I've been great. I don't know. Nothing like super new. Got a date tonight. Maybe I'll talk about that later on, sometime down the
Okay.
road. But other than, I just feel really grounded and just kind of at peace. I
That's
feel like,
awesome.
yeah, I feel like I went through some hard stuff at the beginning of the year with my son and, transitioning back into single life. And I feel like now it's just, we're happy. We've worked on our relationship, my son and I, and we're laughing every day again. And I don't know. It's just like I told you about it. It's just difficult, but I've been feeling really good lately. How are you?
Good.
Are you feeling better
I'm
than yesterday? And we filmed our cycle episode yesterday, so that's why I asked that.
I am. I'm feeling a little bit better. I'm really I'm really happy about my health right now.
Mm,
I'm I wouldn't even say that I'm losing weight cuz the scale hasn't really budged at all, but I am getting more into physical activity. My coworkers and I, when I'm in office, we walk a mile each day as long as it's not pouring down rain. That
nice.
has tremendously helped my clothes to fit better. So I'm feeling more comfortable in my body. I'm feeling like I'm not getting winded so easily and just feeling better.
Yeah, people underestimate walking.
Oh
It's
yeah.
I love
Cuz
it.
all these things I've been practicing yoga every morning and that really wasn't shifting, which is surprising, but it wasn't really shifting my body. I still was feeling like I was outgrowing all of my clothes and
Mhm.
I climbed 2 flights of stairs to go to my office. So when I would get to the top, I would be so out of breath. But walking has significantly helped. I also got a bicycle. I've only rode it a few times. I think I might take it out today, but that's also helping.
Fun. And you like to rollerblade. I haven't done that
Oh,
since a
yeah. Yeah,
kid.
we have been doing
That
that
looks
more
super
too.
fun.
Yeah, it
Good.
is, as long as I don't crash.
Oh my god. Right.
All right. So, glimmers. You may not be familiar with the word. I think all of us are familiar with triggers, which are things that happen that trigger a negative emotion or a negative response, a negative memory. Glimmers are kind of the opposite of that. So, glimmers are tiny micro moments of joy. They can be fleeting. They're, just everyday things that happen that elicit this rush of happiness or gratitude, calm, peace, safety, those types of feelings. So, definitely feelings we want to feel, right? When I started learning about this word only recently, only within the last year really, I started to try to take note of those things that I would consider glimmers for myself. And you and I are going to get into those and what ours are, but I wanted to share also some science behind it. So, when you start to make a practice of noticing the good, you start to shift your brain from, this it's related to the polyvagal theory. So the polyvagal theory is your autonomic response. That's that involuntary response, kind of your fight or flight that happens in response to the things in your environment. So when you take the time to notice those positive things in your environment, you help to switch your mind into a place that is in a more positive outlook. You start to build emotional resilience. You start to be less overreactive to things. You really start to enter a state of regulation, connectedness. So, what the opposite of this might be would be maybe there was a family member that treated you poorly and maybe they smoke cigars. And so, anytime you smell cigars, you think of that family member. That would be a trigger. So, opposite of this would be glimmers, things that maybe this one is the smell of campfire for me. It reminds me of camping in northern Michigan, and that elicits a lot of happy memories. So, we're going to get into those, what ours are, and maybe that will help you to think of some of yours as well. And what I asked Kay and I to do was to separate ours by the senses. And so, Kay, did you find that there was certain senses that you could think of more for than others?
I think smell for I don't know, for smell for sure, but as I was going through them, I'd say they're probably all about equal.
Okay.
Sight
I
sight for sure,
mhm.
and smell for sure, and taste. I want them all.
I want it all. I would say sights and smells were my biggest categories. Touch was one of my smallest, and I totally understand why, just from the physical trauma that I've been through.
Mhm.
I really don't relish in that part of my senses, which may be a place to investigate further. But let's start with sounds. What are some sounds that ignite joy in you?
Silence in the morning, which is opposite of a
Oh,
sound. It's
but
just in
it's
the
still in that sense.
I turn my fan off in the morning because I have to sleep with the fan on. I turn it off and I just hear the silence, but then I hear just the birds just, like, gently start chiming in, and it just brings me so much peace. I love starting the morning off like that.
A nice slow ease into the morning. Birds chirping is on my list as well. I
Yeah.
have a lot. So I have birds chirping, just like normal everyday birds chirping, but then I have specifically seagulls because it reminds me of being on like the Great Lakes.
Nice. I have specifically mourning doves because they mimic
Mm,
kinda the sound of owls, but it's in the morning, and you'll I just it's like a low tone bird. I love it. I
they do have a very nice
Mhm.
sound. Were there any songs that came to mind?
Yes, Vienna by Billy Joel.
Oh, okay. Is there a certain reason or
It
it's
reminds me of
just a
my
happy song
sister.
for you?
It reminds me of my
Mm,
sister, yeah.
okay.
Other songs came to mind too, but I didn't wanna start making just a whole list of songs about it, but that was oh, I'm gonna add something new I just discovered. This girl at work have you ever heard of a I can't even remember the name of it, but it's like a rain drum, I think. Did I tell you about it? Did I show you
The
that?
ones that you turn upside down?
No, it's just like this disc, and it's got different holes, like variations of sizes, and when it
Okay.
rains, the wherever the rain falls on this drum, it sounds kinda like almost like a wind chime, but it's a rain drum. I'll send you the video that she sent me, but it's just so peaceful and calming. I wanna put it in my shower, and I can hear it, so I can hear when I take a shower. Yeah.
Ooh, that's a great idea. When you find a link for it, send it to me because that sounds awesome. I know I only put down one song, but I could think of more.
Mhm.
Toto, Africa. I just love that song. It's like
I
such a
do
hype song
too.
for me.
Yeah, I love that song.
I don't know why.
Yeah. It reminds me of that show Stranger Things, which
Okay,
I
yeah.
didn't have this on my list either, but I love that show, so it's gonna be a huge glimmer for me when the last and final season comes out.
Yeah.
You watch it too?
Mhm.
Mm, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I love it. I love retro shows too. Like,
Mm,
it's cool because it's sci-fi and all that too, but also just like 80s, 90s shows. I really love that.
yeah,
I love seeing the things we grew up with.
same. More for sounds, I put the rain in general, even if it's like a small pitter patter, like rainstorms.
Any other sounds?
Yeah, I put hearing when somebody is suggesting like a book to me that has changed their life. And so when I get that information, I love to hear about that because I know it's an opportunity for me to
Mm,
evolve. I love
I
hearing
love that.
I love my son hearing my son and my daughter just laugh and get along or when he's teaching or something. I love to
Mm.
hear the Netflix at the beginning when you open the app and it goes doo doo.
Ching, ching.
I love that. Oh, I heard that.
Oh, shit.
Is
Yeah,
that
that
here or
I
there?
don't it was here. It sounded like a plane or something very, very, very low.
Mhm.
I thought it was about to crash in my
Oh my
backyard,
god.
Jesus.
So I know this is kinda like a little opposite, but when I'm at work and I hear a code being called and it's not on my floor, I love that.
Love that it's not me.
Yeah.
But do you get that sinking feeling when it first calls? Or no, because you already know it's not on your floor?
As I guess what if it's almost like an anticipation. It's not even a sinking feeling because even if it is on my floor, it's kinda like an adrenaline rush and it's you know?
True.
But I don't know, that was just something that came to mind. I love when my friends, like, are about to tell me some good tea and they'll be like, "Bitch." I love that.
Yes.
And, I like to hear my Venmo notification go off.
Mhm, and I do. Yep.
Mhm.
Love that.
Any more for you with sounds?
No, I couldn't think of a lot in that section. I don't know why.
Okay.
So, next section is sights. This one I had a good amount for. And
Mhm.
one that I've, like, always recognized, and I'm like, "Am I weird for this?" Sidewalks. So, anytime I'm driving down the
Ooh.
road and I see
Mhm.
sidewalks, like, in a neighborhood or, like, along the I drive by a lot of, like, greenways and stuff like that. It just fills me with so much joy because I think about going for walks, and I love to go for walks.
Nice.
Is that
Yeah.
weird?
No, I don't think so. I put bridges. Like, and not just
I
I
like
mean, like,
that.
some bridges are cool in the city, don't get me wrong, but, like, bridges in nature specifically.
Mhm. Like that little wooden one in Formar.
Yeah. Maybe I'll go there
I
today,
love that
actually. I need
one.
a walk. I need a good walk. I put witnessing children discover something for the first time, and they're just so full of
Aw.
joy. Like, my niece, she was here from California last summer, and they live in, like, very, very Southern California, and it's all desert there, and they don't have grass. During the summer, it's like 110, 120 degrees, can't even go outside. So when she was here, she had never felt, like, grass underneath her bare feet. And so when she like, her and my mom were just, like, barefoot the whole time, and, like, like, was always telling my mom, like, "Nana, take your shoes off and feel the grass," and so it was just a sweet thing to see.
Oh, she's like, "Look what I discovered. This is
Mhm.
amazing."
Yeah.
We were I didn't have this on my list, but we were with my friend and her kids this past weekend, and her daughter is obsessed with me, which I absolutely love.
Mm. How old is she?
And so she is 2, 3,
Nice.
3? Yes, 3. She just turned 3. And so she follows me everywhere. She was, like, glued to my side, and so I was sitting in the, like, chair outside, and I just crossed my legs, and so she looked up at me, and she crossed her legs and looked up at me,
Mimicked
and I was
you.
like, "You're so
I love
cute."
that. That's sweet.
Yes. I put mountains, hence why I moved to the South. When I was a kid, we would always come on vacations to the South. We'd go to Tennessee and South Carolina, and those were always great times. I loved the weather. I loved looking at the mountains. Now that I live here, I love hiking the mountains. It's just being immersed in nature is so peaceful. and I get to look at the mountains every day on my drive to work, so it's a beautiful thing.
I love that. I didn't have that on my list, but I'm adding it. Turtles and butterflies, any kind of baby animal,
Yeah.
the car
I put
wash.
cats specifically. Oh,
Yeah.
the car wash.
Mhm. Like, inside,
Mm.
when you're going through it.
Mhm.
My
All the
when
foam and everything.
Yeah, my dad used to call it the monster when we were kids. We're gonna go inside the monster, but it was, like, a fun experience, so
Yeah. Not a scary one.
Mm-mm.
I put fog.
Ooh, I
I
love
love
fog.
fog.
I love fog too.
I just feel like it's so mysterious,
Mhm.
and I like it. I don't know. We have a lot of fog, especially in the mornings. I drive over a pretty big lake to get to work. The lake is so big, I drive over it 3 different times during my drive. There's 3 different bridges, and a lot of times in the morning, there's a lot of fog that comes up off the lake, so it's really
Mhm.
pretty.
I love that. I love fog too. I love when I see it, excuse me, like, coming out of the, like, drainage, the
Uh-huh.
gates or whatever they are. Why can't I
Mhm.
think of that word right now?
Like sewer gates or
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
or whatever they're called. I don't know.
When people
The
light up.
moon.
Huh? Oh, yeah, the
The
moon.
moon,
Yes. I love,
always.
of course, the full moon, but I love crescent moons.
Mm. I mean, yeah, I love it in all stages.
Yes, especially when
Just
there's,
love
like, just
looking at
a
this massive body up in the sky.
Yes. Yes, I love the moon. When people light up about something they're excited about, but when
Absolutely.
old people that have been married for, like, 50, 60 years, and they're still, like, just loving and, like, devoted and nurturing to each other, even when they're giving each other shit and talking shit, like, I just love
Mhm.
watching their interactions.
Mhm. I do too. I do miss that about patient care.
Yeah. When I noticed the very first dandelion of the season. Do you guys have dandelions
Definitely.
there in Georgia?
We do, but what I noticed this year is we have daffodils pop up even before our dandelions pop up.
Nice.
So and there's just, like, a bunch of wild daffodils everywhere. So that was something I noticed this year, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, they're just popping up everywhere." But that's, like, our first sign of spring is
Mhm.
those. Have you ever been to the Dam store in Oscoda?
No.
It's this tiny little convenience store in Oscoda, Michigan, and I love it. I love seeing the sign because as kids, that was, like, the only time we got to cuss. And so we would just constantly be like, "I wanna go to the damn store.
Mhm.
Let's go to the damn store."
That's so funny. I love that.
And we would always get candy there and stuff,
It's
so
just like a
that's
trinket, like a souvenir store?
um, I mean, they do have yeah, they have some souvenirs. It's like a bait and tackle store because
Oh,
it's right
okay.
there on
Yeah.
the Sabo River, so you're getting stuff to go fishing. So that's always what we do. We go there, my dad would get his stuff to go fishing, the kids would get some candy, and we would just have a good
Mhm.
time.
I like to look at maps,
That's one I didn't have on my list, but now that you mention it.
and I love discovering something on vacation that wasn't on the itinerary, like some hidden gem, whether it's a store or a cool hike or a, landscape or something.
Mhm. I have
I
Oliver Teas on my list.
Oh, I've never been there, and I've passed by it a
Shut
million
up.
times.
What?
I know.
Are you
I've ate a lot of things
serious?
from there. Yeah, I've
Okay.
had people order stuff and, like, I've had a lot of things. Should I go?
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love it because it's not what do you call it's not like a chain grocery store or anything. It's this local deli, gift shop, bakery. They have amazing stuff in their bakery. So good. They have this I think they call them zinger. There's a cherry zinger cookie. They also have orange, but I'm not a big fan of orange flavored things. It's this like super thin, kind of like a sugar cookie, but not really, with this super thin icing on it. Delicious. But yeah, their
Mm.
bakery is amazing. You can get like sandwiches and stuff from their deli. They have like, salads and things on the deli. You can buy meat there. They have a huge wine selection and liquor selection. I just love it because it's very unique. It's locally owned,
Yeah, you're talking
and
about
they
the
have a
one
lot of
here in
good stuff
Michigan,
there.
obviously, then.
Yeah, Grant Blanc.
It's right. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go. I'm just
You
have to
have to
go in
go.
there.
You'll love it.
Oh gosh, maybe I shouldn't go. No, I'm just playing. No, I'll go. I want a good piece of cake.
Mm, yes, they've got a bunch. Oh my gosh, they have so many good things. I'm just
Mm.
thinking about them all right now.
I
I,
I did receive a gift basket when I used to work for this one doctor's office. I think they gave me a gift basket and all the things in it for like Christmas were from that place. So
oh,
I know
that's
I know they
cool.
have nice things there. Yeah. I
It's really
have
good too. They have like unique cards and stuff for like
Oh,
birthdays.
nice. Yeah. I have on here watching my son become passionate about like a new project or a new thing.
Mm.
He's he does that quite often. So I love when I get a text message when sometimes when plans get canceled last minute and now I get to sit at home and do
Yes.
nothing.
I love canceled plans for the most part.
Mhm.
Like, not when the person is, like, always canceling them and you can't rely on them, but, like, just
Right.
a random canceled
Yeah.
plan. I'm like, "Okay, cool. I
Yeah.
can stay at home."
I didn't have this in the
I
animals.
put
Go ahead.
oh, what?
I was gonna say earlier out in the animals category, every time I go to my dad's house, his dog Pearl, she's like a year and a half old. She's like this big black lab mix, and she's just so excited to see me every time I go over there.
Mm. I put Rouse Country Store in Frankenmuth. Are you
Mhm.
familiar with it's a big candy store. They
Yeah,
have a bunch of other stuff
anything
too.
in Frankenmuth. I love just seeing Frankenmuth.
Mhm.
Seeing being outside at night and, like, looking at the stars and it's a clear night.
Yes.
And,
I didn't put that on my list, but absolutely.
but it went specifically when, like, when it's cold and I can see my breath. It just makes me feel, like, alive.
I like that. What other sites do you have? I think I've listed all
Synchronicities
of mine. Oh, yeah.
in general, especially if I'm, like, asking spirit for something or tapping into my guides, and then you just see or hear, I guess, something that, is in comparison to that. I just feel like it's just signs that you're on the right path.
You wanna hear something wild about synchronicities? I didn't get to tell you this yet. So, for us today recording, it's a Wednesday, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Monday is when Jordan's car got broken. So, Monday, I'm searching around he has a Kia, so I have never owned a Kia, so I'm searching Kia dealers in the area to know where we're gonna have to take this car to fix it. So I searched 2 different ones. I find this one that's, like, very well recommended from the reviews. Why did yesterday we got a coupon in the mail for their service center?
Oh, yes. I love that.
And I was like, "There's no way from, like, targeted ads that they could have mailed it from yesterday to today. Like, that's
Yeah.
too quick."
Yeah,
And it came in the mail physically. I was like, "What is this?"
that's a sign that you should definitely use that dealership.
Yeah, I think so.
That's awesome.
I think so. Any other sites you have?
Um, I don't think so. I think that's it. I love when, I receive, like, voice messages just will randomly pop up from, like, my girlfriends, like, because I know, like, I'm about to get some like, I just love it. Like, I'm like, it's about to
Yes.
be good. So, I love the voice messages or when I hear, like, "bitch" or, like, send me a meme that remind like, "Oh, hey, this reminded me," or you know what I'm saying? Like, any type of messages, text messages like that, I love.
Mhm. I
I
do
didn't
too.
have this on my list, but I just thought about it. There is this painter. He does a lot of Southwest, like, art with Indians. Oh my gosh, done something. Do I have a I don't have the magnet up. Oh, yeah, I do. Actually, I'm gonna grab it, and I'm gonna show it.
Ooh. Oh, yeah, I didn't even put art on my list, but there's so much art that I absolutely love. Monet,
Huh? It's D
my own
something?
art.
Oh, you said your owner. Like this artist, he's like a really famous artist in the Southwest, but anything it reminds me of my Nana in Arizona. Anything by this person, it's ooh, Dejanazia. I don't know how to say his name. It's a
Okay.
Hispanic name, I think. But anything else for you?
Not in sights. I want to
Okay.
move on to smells. This one, smells is a big one for me. That was like sight and smell were my two biggest.
Okay,
And I
go.
could probably
Go
go all day
ahead.
on smells.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I could too.
There is this very specific smell that I probably can't articulate it, but it's like the smell of like the first spring day. And there's like this clean freshness in the air. There's like a cool breeze. When I smell it, I know it, but I couldn't really describe it in great detail. But it reminds me of living on the east side of Flint as a small kid and playing at my grandparents' house. I think
Mhm.
it was like when school would just get out and just not having a care in the world. That's what the memory it triggers for me.
I in my mind when you say that, I think about after the winter ends and the ground unthaws and the smell of the earth. Like, that's what I when you said that, that's what I think about. Like, that's what
Mhm.
spring, like, that first smell of spring, like, resonates with me, like, when I'm walking.
Yeah.
I put Christmas and fall scents during the holiday.
Mm. Yep, love them all. Apple, cinnamon,
Ooh, I was
all the
yeah,
things.
orchards, just those fresh fried
Mm,
donuts and cider.
yes, I love the smell of leaves on the ground
Mhm.
decomposing.
And fresh cut grass, even though it's, like, the grass screaming that it's dying because you sliced it.
We're so morbid. We're
I'm gonna continue.
promised we were gonna be positive in this one, but hey, there can be positivity and
Hey, it
morbidity,
is
right?
like, I didn't have this on sites, but I love when my yard is freshly mowed and weed whacked after my lawn guy comes, and s and the smell of it, it's just that brings me so much joy that it looks nice. My
Yeah.
My grandfather's he used to smoke, like, a pipe, like a tobacco pipe, and whenever I catch a whiff of that, it just brings me right back to childhood, and he was so great, and he's not, with us anymore, but it was, that smell of that smoke pipe specifically, I love that.
My grandpa always carried a pipe too, and I feel the same way.
Mm,
Also, I love just the smell of cigars, and I don't think anyone really smoked cigars around me, but I love the smell of I hate the smell of cigarettes, love the smell of cigars. There's
yeah, like a
very
black and
distinct
mild.
difference. Bitch. Okay.
I
I mean, I'm not you're not wrong. I love the smell of a black and mild.
I didn't even have that on my list, but when you said that, I was like, "Ooh, I could smell it thinking about it."
I know. Like, I would let someone just light one up, like an incense, but just light a
Yeah.
black we call that Flint aromatherapy.
Specifically wine wine scented black and mild. Oh god. Okay, moving on.
Mhm.
And, like, campfires too.
Oh, that is a huge one for me. I love the smell of them, I love being around a campfire, and I don't wanna shower after one because I love how it sinks into your clothes and your hair, and I just
Yeah.
wanna smell like it forever.
Yeah, especially just up north camping. That's what I was gonna say, it
Yes.
stays in my hair.
Mhm.
Do you have any
And that's what it
perfumes?
reminds me of is
Yeah.
yes, Burberry Brit
Ooh,
perfume.
okay. I never
It's
have
my
seen that
favorite
one.
perfume, but I'm allergic to it.
Aw, like, it makes you
So
what's your reaction?
I just not like a skin thing, but I will sneeze
Mm.
constantly when I smell
Oh,
it. So I can't wear
no.
it anymore, but I love when I, like, passingly smell it on someone else. I remember when I was a waitress, I smelled it on one of my, customers, and I was like, "Are you wearing Burberry Brit?" And she's like, "Yes. How did you know?" I'm like, "Wow, it's very specific, and I
Yeah,
love it."
yeah. Prada candy is mine.
I think I have a sample of that. I need to go smell it.
Yeah, go smell it. It's like a real It's kinda, like, rich, it's not flowery, it's kinda like a I don't wanna say vanilla, but you know what I mean, it's not floral, it's more
Okay. More like an ambery kinda
yes,
smell.
yeah. I love to smell,
I
like
put down the f
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, well, like, when my clothes, like, are in the dryer and I go outside and I can get a whiff of them from the dryer vent.
I do love that. Love that clean smell.
Mhm.
I put the forest, and
Mhm.
the forest, I mean, there's such rich smells from I feel like I've only recently gotten to truly appreciate it, and it was also when I was recovering from COVID. The first time I had COVID, I lost all my sense of taste and smell, and it was very depressing to not have those senses. And so I was recovering, I was getting out and getting back hiking, and I went and walked in the forest, and I just got these little smells of, like, pine in different parts of the forest, and that was when my smell was first coming back, and I just remember that, like, joy of, like, I'm gonna be able to smell again.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought it was gone forever.
Oh god. Yeah, I love being out, like, walking in the woods and getting a whiff of some wildflowers of, like and even,
Mm,
like, hydrangeas, like, those I think are the ones that smell good. Yeah, that I love that.
I had that on my list too, the wildflowers.
Yeah.
I have a very specific smell of my paternal grandmother's house. It was kind of this mix of, like, gingerbread and eucalyptus, 'cause it's wild to think of it now, but she had this whole plant room. Now my whole house is a plant room, but I
Mhm.
remember she had this plant room that was just full of all these different plants. She had it, like, humidified, and she had a bunch of eucalyptus and stuff in there, but it's kind of that blend of those smells together, and I'll only get a hint of one or the other. I keep a lot of eucalyptus around my house too because I it does remind me of her, but those combined just reminds me of being with her.
Yeah, I like that. Bleach is on my list. I love
I
bleach.
love the smell of bleach too. I have friends that absolutely hate it and will not, like, bleach their clothes.
What?
I will only use white washcloths on my face specifically so I can bleach them when I clean them.
It's funny. I'll add a little bit like, I'll fill my sink up a little bit and just throw some bleach in there just to smell it. My grandma always used to do that. Every time I walked in her house, there'd always be, like, 4 inches of water in her sink and with bleach in it, like, just to for the day, like, every day, and I spray it I
Just to bleach for the day.
yeah, I was like they have, like, counter bleach, like, or bathroom bleach with, like, Clorox. It smells so good.
I keep a spray bottle of the Clorox in my shower, and that's what I always,
Mhm.
like, spray my shower down with. I do. I love it. It just reminds me of, like, cleanliness. It also kinda reminds me of, like, swimming in a
Yep.
pool.
Yeah, same.
Mhm.
Johnson's, like, baby lotion on babies.
Oh, yeah. That is a good one. I have a very specific smell, the original Double Bubble, so not the Double Bubble you see out on shelves right now. There is this original one, it's very distinct and different from the current Double Bubble.
That's
I'm very
funny.
passionate about this.
Yeah.
But there was this little drugstore over on the east side of Flint, I can't remember the name of it, I should have asked my mom before we recorded, but we would always go there and the whole store smelled like this Double Bubble, and so I just always
Mm.
remember going in there when we were broke on the east side. I had this little tiny piggy bank and my mom would let me, like, put all my coins together and get something at the drugstore.
Aw. You wanted that double bubble, huh? My aunt's house in Florida, I don't know what kinda air freshener she uses, but we like, everything in my bags smell like it when we get back.
Ooh.
I put lavender,
Mm,
anything lavender.
yep.
The farmer's market,
Does it have a distinct smell?
the one in Flint does, I think when I don't know, just roasted almonds, like, if you're at anywhere that has roasted almonds, like, any event, any
Oh,
football game, any
yes.
circus or whatever, like, they always
Mhm.
smell way better than they taste, but it's just something I have to have.
Yes, that is one for me, I forgot about that smell. Also popcorn for me.
Ooh,
I
yeah.
love the smell of popcorn.
Mhm.
Like, I'll pop it just to smell it.
Yeah. Coffee every morning or coffee shops.
Yeah, I put coffee under taste, but it's also a smell too,
Yeah,
and it both
I put it
elicits the
under taste
same
too.
for me.
Mhm.
I put sunscreen, like,
Oh.
the one that smells kinda like banana-y. I
Mhm.
forget what it might be Banana Boat, I don't know. But that one, it just reminds me of being at the beach.
Yeah. Put leather.
Yes. I love leather smell.
Disinfect
But not fa I don't like the fake air freshener leather,
No, hell no, it's gotta be the
but the
real dead
real
kind.
mhm. The real
Yeah, they're
We have a
sorry to be
problem.
morbid. I know. I love disinfectant wipes and, like, the Armor All wipes when you clean out your car, and, like, when my car's clean and I got, like, a new car air fresheners in it, and
Mm,
that's a sight thing too for me, I think, just seeing my car
yeah.
clean and
Makes
that
me feel
makes
like I got my life together.
Yes. Ooh, what else for smell? Do you have anything else?
I think that covered most of the smells that I had written down. Do you have
Mm,
anything else?
I don't think so. What are we doing next?
Touch.
Okay.
I have 3 things.
Oh,
That's it.
I got quite a bit. Go ahead.
Okay.
No, I not too much actually. It's my shortest one.
Anytime so I also am neurodivergent, so I've had a lot of, like, issues with touch and textures. Like, I used to scream bloody murder when my mom would put cotton socks on me as a kid.
No.
I'm w I know. So I like buttery soft material. The shirt I have on right now is super soft.
Mhm.
There's these shorts I've bought from Walmart. They're, like, super cheap, like, maybe $5 or something. They do have little pockets on the side, but they're so soft. So any kind of material like that that's super soft, I love.
I did
What
put
about you?
silk, my cozy robe, being wrapped in my comforter. I definitely
Mm.
put that on there. And as far as, like, clothing and the feeling of I don't know if this is touch. Like, the feeling of falling asleep where you're, like, in between, like Peter Pan in between, asleep and awake.
Oh, yeah.
The feeling when a plane takes
Mhm.
off.
Yeah, because I'm going somewhere.
Yeah, right.
I love that.
My face, like, washing my face every night with, like, a hot washcloth or just taking a hot sh I put specifically taking a hot shower after I've been swimming all day and getting the sand off of me.
Yes.
But I
Oh,
also
yeah.
love being, like, submerged in the ocean and getting all that sand all over me, so it's both. I put the wind.
Yeah. I put specifically being in the warm sun, and then having, like, a cool breeze go across
Mhm.
you, that combination, mm, love
Yes.
it.
Hugs from
I
children.
also love what was that?
Hugs from children.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
Those are the best. I put walking along where the sand meets the water,
Mm.
and just that feeling
Mm.
between the sand and the water. Ugh, I love it.
Yeah. When it just, like,
Can't wait to
the
have that in my life.
I know. When the waves just, like, gently graze over your feet.
Mhm.
I
And the
like
sand kinda moves out beneath your
Yeah.
feet.
When you're, like, cold in the water and then you get out and the sun's hot and you're wrapped in a beach towel.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Mm. I didn't have that on my list, but it made me think about that when you said that. My daughter, when she lays her head on my lap and she's just young and still needs me.
Yeah.
Heating pads when I'm on my period.
Mhm.
When you make those sensory things and you, like, fill a balloon with flour.
Oh, yeah, and you, like, squish it?
Yeah, that's all I got
I do
really.
like those. I guess this is a touch one. I like the feeling when you get in a stretch that, like, really stretches out an area that's been super tight.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
specifically, my right hip is always tight, so when I get a good stretch and, like, get it loose, I'm
Mhm.
always telling Jordan, I'm like, "I need you to pull my hip out of socket." But that feeling of that stretch, I'm like, "Oh, yeah."
Yeah, funny.
Okay, so our last sense would be taste. What are some I am because I'm a foodie, I'm surprised that my list is so short. I guess I just couldn't think of things in it.
Yeah, I only got like
And
10
of course,
things.
these lists aren't all inclusive, but
Right.
what do you got for
I
taste?
wanna go back to sight for a minute. When I see TJ Maxx,
Okay.
I
Yeah.
just thought about that.
TJ Maxx, Ross, Marshalls, anytime I see them,
Yes,
like, I wanna go to them in every city because I feel like they all have a little bit different
they really do.
something, and I feel
Mhm.
like it's like treasure hunting.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I went to, like, 3 Rosses in Florida, and they all had different shit.
Love Ross.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Even between my town and the town right next door, I was telling my girlfriend at work, she was looking for, like, a dress to wear to a wedding, and I was like, "Honestly, Ross has Calvin Klein dresses for, like, 20 bucks, like,
Yeah.
I would go there."
Mhm.
And I was like, "But if you go to the one in this town, it might be a little bit different than the one in my town."
Yeah, love that. I put hot coffee, like, in the morning, like, that first sip of hot coffee in the morning, especially when it's, like, chilly.
Mhm. Coffee reminds me of being with my dad, so every time I sip it and smell it, we always had coffee together. That was, like, one of our go-tos if either of us was having I mean, we would do it every morning when we lived
Mhm.
together, but if either of us was having a rough time, like, "Let's go get coffee together," and we would just
Oh, I love that.
spill our hearts out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm. Old school those old school soft mints that were really cheap that they had in the middle of the table at weddings back in the day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I
I
think
don't
they're are they called pillow mints?
maybe, yeah,
I
that
don't
sounds
know.
about I don't know, maybe, yeah, it sounds about right, but they always had sometimes they even had, like, a little cheap, like, fishnet bag.
Wrapper on
Yeah,
them.
like the
Oh,
fishnet
uh-huh.
bags, they come in. Mhm.
Is there something that they remind you of, or it's just
Just being at, like,
one of
weddings
those
and
things?
events and graduations, like, with my family as a kid.
Yeah. I
Any
put pistachio pudding.
Oh, yeah.
And anything that tastes like that. Like, I'm obsessed with pistachio flavor, but specifically the fake I mean, I love to eat pistachios, but the one that elicits joy for me is that taste of, like, pistachio pudding because it's not true it's more of like an almond flavor if we're
Mhm.
being realistic. There's a cake place near me that makes slices of pistachio cake, and it tastes like the pudding, and I told the owner last time I went in there, I'm like, "Please don't ever stop making this because it's so good."
Yum. I need some of that in my life. Any Greek food that my grandma cooked from scratch
Oh,
and smelling her house.
damn.
Go back to smell when she did it, walking in her house and smelling her house on
I bet that was
holidays.
amazing.
Yeah. My dad's spaghetti. I mean, I don't know,
Mm,
it's just something about his spaghetti specifically. It tastes the best to me with Parmesan cheese.
mm. I have, do you remember the restaurant Salvatore Scalapini's? It was on Miller Road in Flint.
Ooh, maybe. I don't know if
I
it's
think
there
it's a
anymore.
IHOP now, which really pisses me the fuck off, if I'm gonna be honest.
Fuck IHOP.
It's no
No,
longer
I'm
there. I
kidding.
think there may still be a location in Brighton or somewhere around
Mhm.
Brighton. And so since they closed the Flint one, I did go to the Brighton one, and it's just not exactly the same,
Yeah.
even though it's the same family that owns them. But I tried to, like, narrow it down. Everything I've gotten there, there's such a specific recipe, like, their pasta pollo pepperone, amazing. I've tried to recreate it and haven't, like, exactly gotten it, and that pisses me off too. Their salad dressing and then their tiramisu was the
Mm.
best tiramisu I've ever had in my
I have
life. So good.
tiramisu on my list.
Had you ever been to Salvatore's or no?
No, but I've had a lot of good tiramisu, and I always
Mm.
wanna try, because I'm like, "Ooh, this is" I just had tiramisu in Florida at, Carmelo's, I think it was called. It was this guy from Sicily, and he, just made the restaurant, and he works there as, like, the head chef in his restaurant, and so it's made really good from scratch, and it had that really Oh, I hear Ludo. It's okay.
I thought he would behave.
But, like, the tiramisu, it sometimes some people like it a little bit extra soggy from the coffee, some don't, I do, and so it had that
Mhm.
layer of, like, the cake was extra soggy in it.
Yeah, I want it real soggy,
Mhm.
moist.
Yes. Yes,
What else you got?
moussaka. It's like a Middle Eastern dish,
Mm.
the eggplant and, like, red sauce and rice. Olives, dipping eggs in
Yeah.
toast, specifically when my mom makes it.
That's one for me too because my dad would always make me toast with,
Mhm.
like, over medium eggs
Yep.
and dip in them. Mm.
Yeah. Lemon and oregano, like, whether it's chicken or I'm dipping bread in it. I also have
Mm.
dipping, like, my bread in my wine and eating it. I don't my grandma told me the
I've never
story.
tried that.
Well, my grandma told me the story about how her grandma used to dip her bread in wine and shove it in my grandma's mouth when she was, like, 8 years old. She did it to all her grandkids.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. Well, she's 80 now, so her grandma would have been, born in the 1800s,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's what they used to do for their kids,
To,
and
like, get him to chill out.
I don't know. She, like her grandma no, her grandma, like, loved her. She'd always do it to her, and then she shush her, like, it's our secret.
My grandma, gave me a cigarette when I was 4, so
Oh, that's so nice of her.
thanks, grandma. She started smoking regularly when she was 8 years old,
Oh my
which is wild
gosh,
to me.
that is wild. Ugh, that's crazy. Extra dirty blue cheese martinis.
I I'm with you except for the blue cheese part.
I you know,
I love
it was so good. I ordered a dirty martini, and once it came with the blue cheese in the middle of the olive, and
Mhm.
whenever I see it on a menu now, I will get one.
Honestly, I think I might like blue cheese in a martini. I love an extra dirty martini. It reminds me like, that has always been my go-to drink when I'm drinking. Me and Val, when we were in Italy, we ordered dirty martinis, and there was, like, maybe a splash of olive brine in them. So I literally had the waiter bring, like, a carafe of olive brine to pour in our martinis. I'm like,
Yeah.
"I need a lot."
Yeah, yeah, me too. Bread and butter,
Mm.
basil.
I just got this basil wax melt.
Mm.
It's called something else. I'll have to send you the picture of it. I got it at Walmart. It makes my whole house smell like a caprese salad. Oh,
I
so
have
good.
that on my list, as well as the basil and my wax melts. I didn't say that earlier with smell, but yes.
Mm.
Watermelon mojitos from Tropical Smoothie,
Ooh,
and
that
I
sounds really good.
yeah, and I put mocktails because I've been into those too, no. I don't drink too much alcohol, but just mock.
One that I didn't put on my list, Bolt House juices, do you know those?
Oh, yeah.
They come in, like, a jug. They have this watermelon mint lemonade, and I
Oh.
never see it anymore. They always would sell it at Meijer, and we don't have Meijer down here. But that combo, watermelon mint lemonade, that was so divine.
Mm, mm. Let's see, a Corona with lime. I haven't had that in a long time, but if
Mhm.
I drink a beer, that's my go-to. And anything truffle flavor.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Truffle is one for me. I don't know why I didn't write that down. Absolutely love truffle.
I don't know if there's any the taste of my melatonin gummies before I go to bed at night. That's stupid.
That's funny. No, it's funny. I just recently bought some Kroger brand melatonin gummies, and they don't hit like my other ones did. Like, they don't taste as good, and I'm, like, sad because 'cause I'm, like, each night I'm like, "This is a little treat to go to
Yeah.
sleep."
That's funny. I'm trying to think of anything else as far as taste goes, like something I could just eat all the time. 'Cause taste is actually a part of touch as well because it's a big
It's
texture.
the
Yeah.
texture. Mhm. It also kinda ties in with smell as well. Those 2 are so
Mhm.
closely related. We smell our food before we actually taste it.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody start paying attention to your glimmers and just showing that moment of gratitude can kind of change your thought process and your patterns and build up momentum to just think positive and be more grateful and for the little things in life that bring you joy.
Yeah, so hopefully our lists have brought to mind some of the things that bring you joy. If you can't readily think of something, try to set an intention for your day when you start your day. Say, okay, universe, show me those things that are glimmers to me. Help me to encounter those today so I can recognize them. And then, like we always say, put it down in your notes app, come
Mhm.
back to it when you need a little pick me up. And I guarantee it will really help you to have a more positive day, positive outlook. Not to say that when you have those bad days, you shouldn't feel your feelings and do all of that, but when you're ready to come out of it, it's helpful to have some things to help pull you back into that mindset of joy.
Yes.
Well, we thank you for listening to us. And if you haven't already, make sure you like and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
We're also available on YouTube.
Namaste.
Namaste.